In this video, I'm going to show you guys something absolutely amazing. It's literally an organic marketing strategy that's helped us create 7 figures in revenue per year from not just one, but 3 separate Facebook groups in my Facebook profile. This exact strategy, guys, I know because I've seen it on the market, is being taught in programs that range from $5,000 all the way to $10K, and I'm giving it to you guys for free. We've not only used it for ourselves to create that kind of revenue, but we've used it with about 200 other previous clients to do the same things. If this is something that you like and you want to see more of, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, because I am giving you guys everything right here for free. Every single week we're rolling out another video that I promise you elsewhere you're gonna have to pay a large sum of money. This is stuff we do now. This is stuff we teach clients. This is stuff that you can put to use and make some money. So if you want to be on this journey of building your digital empire and you want to see how do these all work together and what other strategies can I use, smash that subscribe button so we can continue together. All right, now let's dive into this. It's called the Perfect Stranger Method. This is something that you're going to see a recording of from when I taught about 100 people live on a webinar. We're going to cut it down a little bit for you and make it just the actual stuff you need, the strategy itself. So let's dive in. Guys, today what we're going to be going over is how to find your customers free, fast, and with a purpose, using nothing except for your Facebook profile. Amazing things you can do with this also include, utilizing similar concepts and strategies on platforms like Instagram. Today, we're going to be focused entirely on authentically building your audience and authentic permission-based marketing to create conversations and generate sales. Hey, you're asking if this is recorded. My man, this is streamed live to the group and it will be there for a while. Maybe not forever, but for a while. So it will be there for a little bit. So what we're going to be doing today is teaching you how to do this every single month. All right. And how do we know how to do it? Because we've done it over and over again for ourselves and for 150 plus other students, some of whom are in here accomplishing these goals right now. They're here for an update because today is Perfect Stranger 2.0. Meaning we're going to be including some new stuff like how to formulaically approach content, different kinds of content designs that we've been doing recently, applying what we're going to see, which is the scary offer approach and formula, and applying that specifically to the content that you're generating, allowing you to connect with your clients, mirror their own end results and language back to them, and authentically create relationships and conversations going forward. Now, if you're ready to finally stop spinning your tires and scale to stable multiple 6 figures, guys, then this is where you need to be. Mr. Rahul, are you able to take over the waiting room stuff? Because I can't click.
Yeah, make me the host.
Now, today, guys, we don't have enough time to show you how to really create the full 7-figure agency or coaching business. That takes a lot of pieces to the puzzle. Inside the GSD program, we focus on 3 main things. That's traffic, as in how to find and attract your clients or perfect customer and fill your calendar with those people with sales calls. How to actually make sales once you have them, and how to create systems and foundational structural pieces to be able to build that business up and not collapse in under your own weight as you do it. All right, there's a lot of issues that come with scaling that if you're not prepared for, you can easily see one of those people who go on that roller coaster where they go 10, 50, 100K months and then crash right back down to zero because they burned out, because they stretched themselves too thin, because they didn't have SOPs, hiring processes, and automation in place to be able to truly succeed with what they were attempting to accomplish. Today, we're looking at one piece of the puzzle. All right, we're looking right in here at offer and organic. We're going to be digging in hard on this so that a lot of you guys who are focused on sales can actually have people to sell to. All right, we need to be able to have a calendar full of people. That consistency, that predictability of a pipeline, that's what allows you to build and take those first steps as a company. You can be the best person ever at ads. If you don't have anybody to do the ads for, or you don't know how to actually track people, you're never going to succeed. You could be the best coach, right, for successful women ever. But if you don't know how to put yourself in front of successful women, you can't actually succeed, right? And so today we need to understand, how are we going to be able to start that momentum? How are we going to be able to attract the right people? And that's what we're digging into, the first piece of the puzzle. Now, guys, if you don't build the right foundation, you're always going to be losing clients just as fast as you get them. You'll never grow past your ceiling. You'll never be confident in where your next client is coming from. You'll be stuck and you'll eventually burn out. And I always hover in on this, guys, because look, burnout is that bad word that a lot of people try. And every new client you get, you feel like you're on top of the world. I'm the man. I just did that shit. I'll never lose again. I got it. Now my income is stable. I finally broke that. And every time you lose a client, it's the end of the world. Like, shit, do I got to go get a job? Do I got to rewrite my resume? Like, where the hell am I going to be able to get that back? A lot of other people are in that same boat. And that's why you want to have a network of support. That's why you want to have other people around you. Something like this feels a lot better when you know that that's normal, right? When you know that that's okay. And so we want to maintain that. All right. Now, the reason you're ending up in this situation is because you don't have a predictable pipeline. When I lose a client, but I know that I can go get another one from one of my buckets that I'm consistently filling up, then I don't have to worry about that so much. In fact, it allows me to do something that I tell people in our program all the time. Don't chase FU money, create an FU business, right? Because when I have a predictable pipeline, not only do I get off the roller coaster, but now when a client is taking more energy than it would take to replace that client because I have that predictable pipeline, I can say F you, like screw you. I can fire the client. I can go replace you now. I can replace you with one or two more of you who are going to be better. And that's what we want to create, that predictability, that FU business that allows you to truly succeed and get off that roller coaster. Guys, that makes sense?
Yeah, we don't want to have the pit in the stomach going to bed not knowing where that next customer is coming from. That's why we like to build like things into an assembly line fashion, just so it's literally as predictable as it could possibly be. Just like a Henry Ford power plant, it goes from step 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So it's literally just plug and play. And that's really what a business should be doing. In a business that scales, that's what it does. And if you've listened to Shark Tank or The Profit or anybody, sales is the lifeblood of every business. Otherwise, we just have a very expensive hobby. So we want to change that for you guys. So real quick, we're going to dive into all this stuff, this content that Cody and I have laid out for you.
Cool, guys. And if this sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Like, this is the first piece of the puzzle, right? This is the first piece of that journey. And what I always tell people inside the GSD program, like when they first get into it, we have so much stuff, right? What we do is we create the glove that fits the hand. We create a personalized approach to the way that we coach and we mentor and we build these things out. And when I say the first piece of the puzzle, that doesn't mean you're missing a whole bunch of other shit that you need to do. That means these are literally the first steps that you should take in order to achieve your eventual success. This is the first gap that you need to fill, creating a predictable pipeline. And that starts with a strong offer and an organic traffic method to start to test and amplify that out. All right, guys, let's keep going. So, where do we go? When our students implement their strategies, guys, they really are able to absolutely crush it. You've seen a few of these testimonials from the people themselves inside that first little thing. We're going to show a couple more of these stories as we go, because it's not just about what we've done, right? I don't like to tell the story about what me and Rahul have accomplished. And it's been a lot. Rahul's been doing this 14 years. I've been doing it 10. We've been doing this a long time. But the most important piece comes when you can say that what you've taught other people, they've been able to use and have success themselves. And so a lot of what we do in these presentations is we tell these stories through the eyes of some of our students purposefully, right? Not to brag about all the cool shit we've done, but to show you that other people have taken these strategies and they've accomplished great things as well, so that you know full well that you can do it too. Now, before we dive into the meat and potatoes, we'd like to do a little visualization exercise. Okay. This helps us really, really get into the mode and get our goals rocking and rolling. Can you drop me a 1 in the chat if you're down?
No. Drop the word clear in the chat. The word clear in the chat. We're going to get our minds right. We're going to get prepared, just like Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, whoever your favorite athlete or musician or whatever it is, how they prepare for the day is how they're going to play the day. So we're just going to be prepared for this, because we're going to give you a lot of information here. And we want to make sure that your mind's right, your vision's right, your goals are right. So we want to get reframed, right?
Let's dive into this, guys. Let's start going into some shit, get some shit rolling. Before we do, real quick, I'm going to quickly introduce, first Rahul can introduce himself, and then I'll go through myself, and then we will rock this out.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like I'm a dinosaur at this age. I've been doing this for about 18 years, since 2004. The first time I started doing what I was doing, I honestly had no clue. I never knew how to fulfill the shit I sold. One lady asked, can I do a banner ad? And no clue what it was, but it changed the dynamic of my business today, where I just said yes, figured it out. I found an offer. I had one product, one service, one focus. It was very easy to turn it into a productized offer. And it was all off one very simple thing that I didn't know how to do. So I did everything before I was even ready. It eventually led to me closing realtor.com, the number one website in the world for real estate, which turned into a $7 million contract. And that really put us on the map on learning how to create a systematized offer. So I started the agency in 2004. We've won like number one agency in Los Angeles, ranked number 402 worldwide by Clutch. Since then, we've worked with thousands of customers, both local, international, public, private, and now we've started the seven-figure GSD group for entrepreneurs just like you guys that are trying to replicate what we've done. So we do it in step-by-step fashion. We've won a handful of those 2CC, 2 Comma Club awards, and we've made several $1 million for our agency. But more importantly than the money in itself, it's easy to say once you have some cash flow, but it's really the lifestyle, because at first when you're stuck in this rat race, or it feels that way sometimes, it feels like a fucking trap. But then the reality is, once you have the cash flow, it opens up so much freedom, so much options where you can actually take your wealth, invest it into other people, as well as invest it into other things that can make you more money. So ultimately, think about how you're growing this business. It's eventually going to be your own bank. You're really your own banking system when you run your own business. The more money you put in, the more you should be getting out. If you're not getting more than you're putting in, then something's wrong, and that's where you need to fix it. So I always talk about the entrepreneur is truly the real banking system, because we are the reason why so many people make so much money and how small businesses run America. It's all because of you guys, because you guys learn the skills to be able to get people where they want to go.
And my name is Cody Getchell, founded my successful marketing agency back in 2012. So about 10 years ago, I handled millions in ad spend, successful marketing campaigns for some of the biggest names around, some of whom you guys got to see in the preemptive countdown timer. We do have a collection of those testimonials for the good work that we've done. Co-founder of this program, 2 Comma Club winner, owner of multiple seven-figure businesses. All of this stuff, guys, in both here and here is just to tell you, we've done this. We're a few steps ahead, and that's why we're able to teach you guys it. But on top of all of that, right, I always like to focus in on not only who we are, but who the people are that we've helped along the way, because it matters just as much that we've been able to translate this into information that people can apply, take action, and succeed. So now that that's out of the way, guys, let's dive into this. How we get clients without having to pay any money in ads or using any kind of fancy tech. All right. Today, we're going to really show you a full list of posts that generate engagement and leads. We're going to show you the Perfect Stranger 2.0 process for this, which is taking a formulaic approach, which I'm going to go through on the scary offer, and also applying it to content, creating what we call scary content that can actually get people to really want to talk to you. Examples of real conversations so you can see how it actually works, how to get started and actually build up your target audience. So even if you don't have a single person in your audience, you're starting from scratch, there's nobody there, you're just talking to yourself, that's okay. We're going to show you how to build that up, how to get momentum, how to start with the first couple of pushes of the flywheel, where to go to create a network of ideal clients, and how to initiate those conversations with a permission-based approach, how to authentically attract them so that we're not spamming people all day or cold DMing people all day. We're creating a network, we're creating a platform where it's okay for us to move into an intimate area, which is Messenger, and communicate with people in order to bring them across the line, develop a relationship, and actually make sales. The best part is, like I said, you don't need a big following. You don't need fancy tech. You don't need a course on ads and Google ads. All you actually need is a desire to be great, a desire to transform your business, a cell phone or a laptop, and be ready to actually implement what we're going through today. So the 7-step Perfect Stranger method. So the 7-step method, guys, here updated for your newfound stuff is: number 1, identify your niche and create your scary offer from the information you get from that. All right. We run into a lot of people who are like, I'm trying to talk to everybody. I want to work with small businesses. I want to work with everyone. Well, when you try to talk to everybody, somebody answer the rest of this cliche for me. What happens when you try to talk to everybody? Drop me in the chat. What happens? What's the next part of this line? I shouldn't even have to finish it. You should have all heard it a million times. You talk to no one. Exactly. Right. And so what that really means, okay, is you're not able to find language that connects with your end customer. That's what that cliche means. All right. You're using your own internal language, things that are vanity metrics. You're saying words like leads and traffic and SEO and Facebook ads and all the shit that you're proud of and that you know, but that has absolutely no effect on an end customer, right? You're not using language that they describe their end results with. When you can find a niche and you're now talking to people, you can learn how they describe their own end results in their own words, and you can mirror that language back to them in your marketing and in your sales, and therefore find a connecting point and understand, now you're the doctor. Now you can prescribe a solution that actually matches the injury that they have, the bottleneck that they've got, the gap they need to fill. All right. You can take it and you can create a truly scary offer. 2, you can set up a profile funnel to maximize your results. So you're not just a generic Facebook person anymore. You're a Facebook person who's actually telling people what you do using language that truly attracts the people you want to attract. 3, you're going to join groups that have your ideal customers, and you're going to start to build your audience from it. You're going to ethically steal other people's audiences. You're going to ethically tap into other people's audiences. All right. You're going to add new friends. You're going to post scary, strategic content on your profile that adds value. All right. And we're going to show you the process for this, the formula for this today. And you're going to engage people that express interest on Messenger, authentically attract them, be able to use permission-based, not spam-based marketing, and start conversations that will eventually turn into sales and close more deals. Now, guys, when our students take action and implement this shit, they get all kinds of results. Excuse my language. I do speak French from time to time. I'm stuck up here in Canada. You're going to hear words like shit and maybe some other stuff. It's in our name of our program. I'm sure you would have figured it out before you got here, but apologies in advance. So guys, we're going to start this out with the scary offer method. All right. Step 1 is a big one. All right. Because it not only relates to what we're going to put all over your profiles and your funnels, but it also relates to how we're going to build the scary content later on. So 90% of your campaigns, guys, 90% of pretty much everything you do comes down to the strength of your offer. But for some odd reason, what we do is we spend 90% of our time on everything else, right? Drop me a 1 in the chat if this sounds familiar. You spend all of your time trying to write that perfect piece of copy, trying to make that perfect funnel. Russell told you you were 1 funnel away, so you've just been hammering on that funnel forever. Oh man, if I could just figure out that headline, if I could just shoot that video, maybe green will work better than a red button. That's what's tripping me up. It's that green button. No, it's the offer. So if you look at all these ones, again, guys, I always say this so you can have solidarity. Look at all the people making those same mistakes, dropping those 1s in the chat. It's a common problem, right? Now, what happens is you write that copy, you take a month, you build that perfect funnel, you write that long story post, you go out, find a mountain backdrop or a lake backdrop, you take that perfect picture, you're like, yeah, I got this. And you put that online and then nobody gives a shit. What happens now? Now you're stuck. You're going to go spend another month trying to build another perfect copy, another perfect funnel, do it all over again? No. That's why what you need to do is create an offer and test those in a simplistic way until you find something that resonates. If you come up with a strong, scary offer, you'll be able to do whatever you want. It will suddenly be 10 times as successful. I promise you that. Now, it starts with identifying your niche. The perfect niche, guys, consists of a few things: an industry in which you can actually provide results, an industry which can pay good fees, and a group of people you enjoy working with. In fact, I'm going to bring this over here. We're going to do a little whiteboard experiment that I do on a lot of my onboarding calls for people, okay? There's 4 main pieces to this. 1, can you get them results? 2, can they pay high ticket prices and actually sustain your management fee for a long period of time? 3, can you find them online? And then 4, all right, and this is neglected by a lot of people. Do I even like these people? Okay, a lot of people don't even think about this last part. They go through this, they're like, yeah, I see them, cool, let's go with it. And then they wake up one day, they roll out of bed, and all of a sudden, all they can think to themselves is, man, I got to talk to all these assholes again. And it drains their energy, right? It's doing the opposite of what you want it to do. You can't be motivated and energized to go kick ass and make the day work if you don't like the people you're talking to. And it takes work. It takes effort. It takes motivation. It takes the opposite of being drained. to be able to get to that next level, to work a little bit harder, to put in that time. And that's what we need. And that's why this part right here is probably one of the most important things, is to make sure that you actually like the people you're picking with, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them. The perfect synergy between these three things, and you've got the first piece to your foundation, all right? Proven results, high ticket business, energizes you. You can find the perfect client. These are the people you want to work with. These are the people you enjoy waking up to every day. And once you know that, once you know your market, you now need to learn their language. Okay, so most marketers say the exact same thing. Love the spelling here. Good thing I wrote these so nice and on point. Yes, guys? I generate client opportunities through Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO. I increase traffic. I generate leads, right? How many of you say that when people ask you what you do? Drop a 1 in the chat if that's your answer to people when they ask you what you do, that you generate leads, or you use Facebook ads to generate client opportunities, or you have SEO practices and increase traffic, or you will help them improve their online presence.
Well, one also, like, are you not clear on what you do? Because a lot of people have told me what they do and I don't understand what the fuck they do. So you got to be clear yourself. So don't be generic, be precise. And the rule of thumb goes back to what Albert Einstein, if you can tell a 10-year-old what it is you do, and that 10-year-old can explain it to another 10-year-old and understand it, then you know you have a clear, refined marketing statement. So that if you want to write this down, actually, I'm going to tell you guys to write this down. And in the chat, I want to take a pause. The refined marketing statement is so fucking clear. It has to be so clear that you can actually explain it to somebody, especially when you come across somebody who can pay you, because confused people cannot buy from you. If they don't know what you do, chances are you may be confused yourself, because the last thing we want to do is saying, hey, I do Facebook ads. Hey, can you run my SEO? Yeah, I can do that. Can you do my GMB? Yeah, no problem. Well, what does it cost? Well, what do you need? Like, it sounds a little janky, right? If that sounds familiar, let's get extremely clear on how we help people, because we need to be good at one thing really and do really well at it, because there's definitely a blue ocean out there for all of you guys. You don't have to be everything to everybody. That's why it's so important to know what you do yourself. Don't do that shit where you can take on a project and then you go on Fiverr and find a person to figure things out that you've never sold before. That's a real clear way to never have a sustainable business.
So guys, after what he just said, I put an example in there of an RMS statement, right? I help X, as in your perfect client, accomplish X desired end result in their own words without having to do X. Pain point. So I said, for this one specifically, guys, I help agencies add 10K MRR per month without spending a dime on ads. So just to give you an example of how that works, how you can put that together. It's something that you should know. It's something you should be able to spit out pretty easily. And what's wrong with what we're saying up here, guys, is all these people, all you guys saying that that's what you use. And I love it. Somebody said, I'm willing to admit it. I love that. And there's a lot more of you guys that put the ones in the chat. I get that. And then what's wrong with that is your average person can't possibly connect with what you're saying. You're using jargon, right? Maybe somebody thinks you sound smart, but look, guys, about 10 years ago, this was a good thing you could say. Nowadays, every other person is saying the same shit to them. And we have to find language that truly connects with our prospects, that truly gets them to want to work with us. All right. So what we need to do is do some research, pay for an hour of somebody's time, take someone out to a research lunch, create a survey to give to some of your friends. You work with realtors, go talk to some realtors. There's only 5 billion of them. You work with dentists, go message a few of them, offer them something, pay them if you have to, but get a group of people to tell you in their language what they want, what their desired end results are, and what their pain points are. You'll be amazed at what kind of language you can pull from these kind of things that you can now use in your marketing and get yourself to stand above the competition. Get yourself to understand how to say things that your competition aren't, so that you can stand out in a red ocean. What we really want, biggest pain points, biggest desires, what they've already tried, industry lingo, and industry goals. All right. These three are pretty self-described. All right. Pain points, desires, what they've tried, because we want to tell them we do it without this, right? They've tried something and it's failed over and over again. We want to tell them we're going to do it for you without you having to do that again. Industry lingo means, are you going to talk about clients, ROAS, customers, leads, or are you going to talk about roofs, installations, patients, listings, closings, applications, the words that they use in their industry to describe what they want? the end result that they actually want. All right. Now, when our students, specifically a couple of them, Cam and Casey, came to us, they started to understand these principles. They're starting to build the path to their dream business. So they started to understand, I gotta use the language. I gotta find out what to do. And it started to open up the world to them. It started to transform their lives, and it started to be able to show them that they really wanted to get to that next level, how to start that path. Now that they knew what to say, right? They learned the words that they need to use to mirror in their marketing, to push that through. They needed to restructure their main offer. All right. So before you even get to the scary offer, guys, the most common pitfall young agencies do, or young coaches do, is to do custom work. All right. The custom work is really a disease, because it's something that at the beginning of our relationships with our clients, with our students, whatever we might be doing, whether that be coaching or whether that be agencies, we think that we're doing ourselves a hi. I caught a few of you people going off camera again. I told you I'm going to go back and forth between the presentation and coming back over here. And look at this. Everyone's hiding again. Come on, people. Jump back on. But what I'm trying to say, guys, here is when we first start doing this kind of stuff, no matter which part of that business you're in, we think by saying yes all the time, by being the yes man. Like, oh, you do Google ads too? Yes. Do you do one-on-one coaching days when I need it? Yes. Right? We think we're doing ourselves a favor. We think our clients and our students, they're going to like us more. They're going to stay with us longer because we're giving them more of ourselves. We're helping them. We're going outside of what's called the scope of work, of what we said we were going to do. But what actually happens is we get the opposite effect of that. What's actually happening is we are devaluing ourselves, because now they're viewing that as part of what they're paying for. They don't see it as you're going above and beyond. They think that they're paying for this, and that's part of what that is. That's what happens. And now you're stretching yourself out really, really thin. And there's no possible way that you're going to be able to delegate this off. You're not going to be able to give that role to an eventual employee so that you can handle more clients, so that you can scale up your business. And when you try to do it, and it's a big pitfall of a lot of people in both coaching and agencies, they try to hand it off and they expect that employee to be them. They expect them to be able to do all that shit, the same level of quality as you can do. And that's going to fail. That's where we're talking about collapsing in under our own weight. And so the first thing we need to do is create what we call a productized offer. Get away from the custom work. Never be the yes man. All right. We need a repeatable offer that contains the same proven asset for every single client. A productized offer really needs to contain three key things: proven results in multiple markets, pre-made assets that are ready to go, and an obvious end result for the client. If we can have these three things, we can delegate it off. We can repeat it. We can hand that process to one guy who can be in charge of a group of clients or students on one call, and do the same thing over and over again as we build up and we scale. If we do it right, you can delegate it. And most importantly, you can count on the quality of the end result. So it's really important here that we have this in place so that we can make sure that we're giving the same quality to A as we are to C, no matter if I'm in charge of this or the employee is in charge of that. The end result that we're promising has to be able to be maintained. And the only way to do that is to use these types of packages and create what we call a productized offer through this process. Is this kind of making sense, guys? Drop me a 1 in the chat if this is making sense, and a 2 in the chat if what you think right now is not a scalable product and you need to kind of transition this to a productized offer using this process. All right, we're getting some 1s, we're getting some 2s. Good, guys. Good.
Yeah, and real quick before you go on, Cody, like once you productize all this stuff and you've got these systems in place, like this is what a lot of people skip, and they start going and trying to bulldoze for that next deal. But the beautiful part about this is when you can start, like Cody mentioned, build that team, get those VAs, get those ISAs, because all of this like perfect stranger method, the productized offer, this can be delegated very easily, and then it becomes scalable, because then you become a traffic and sales floor. And that's really where we want to get everybody to, is having that as the system. We're always trying to pump in traffic, make more sales. Then we have the deliverables always ready, because then you can train people on your products, your services, your price points, your follow-up. It all becomes easier when we start with this productized offer, which helps lead into the scary offer, because then one thing changes with you, your physiology of your state of mind, your confidence, because I talk to hundreds of people every month, and like one of the things that's holding them back is confidence. If I knew it would work, I'd be more confident on the phone to sell it. And it's like, well, let's just productize it. This is the most important part. Be a master of this. Pay attention to this. Like, put in a lot of work on this, because when you put in the hard work, you put in the time, I promise you everything gets a lot easier. That number that you wrote down on that piece of paper becomes a lot closer than that date you wrote down too.
Now, Rahul already said this in a different way, but this principle really does matter. Okay, this matters a lot. If you can't explain it simply, you do not know it well enough. So another exercise I do with a lot of students in the beginning is the elevator pitch exercise. So I tell them, if you had an elevator's ride worth the time, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds max to get to the next floor, and your perfect client just happened to jump in the elevator with you, could you make an offer to that person that resonates? What would you say? And a lot of them can't. And that's what we got to teach them to be able to refine and do. Something that's quick hitting, that doesn't take long to digest and gets their blood pumping, connects with them, allows them to move forward. Right? Telling people you run Facebook ads that gets them traffic and leads sounds great to you, but it doesn't connect with them. But using the language you've now learned to express the productized service you've now created through the lens of an end result you understand, that's the scary offer. It's a big can't say no promise anchored by end results. The easier to understand that promise, the easier it is to fill your calendar and close deals. Creates risk reversal. And if it scares you to make it, then it scares your competition too. And that's why it's called the scary offer. I want you to almost be afraid to say it out loud. I want you to be scared to hit that publish button when you put it on there, because that's when it's going to stretch you to be better. And that's when you're going to be able to stand out in a red ocean. Now, the formula for this, guys, is a big end result anchored by customer language, adding specificity, and then adding risk reversal, and that creates a front-winning scary offer. Which does each part of this mean? The end result and the customer language, we've gone over a lot. Specificity. If you can explain to an individual that you can help them accomplish their goals faster than the competition can help them accomplish those goals, you will win the goal. You will win the sale. And that's what we're trying to do right here. Be specific with our timelines, be specific with our end results. That allows people to understand it better, and it will trigger action far more frequently. Want to have specificity. And risk reversal is making sure that they know, they're going to hit this goal no matter what. So let's look at some examples. All right. So for real estate, 25 booked appointments guaranteed in the next 30 days, or we give you your money back. We guarantee a closing, or we work with you for free. Patients, 25 guaranteed new patients in the next 30 days, or your money back. Gyms, 25 new members in the next 30 days. Contractors, we guarantee 10 jobs every month, or we work for free, right? Specificity, 25 and 30. Language, closings, patients, members. Money back guarantees, work for free guarantees, general guarantees, where you can put any kind of stipulations you want in there. Those are the risk reversals. And the big end results are the 25 members, 25 patients, 30 booked appointments, 10 jobs. We're utilizing the formula to create that offer. Now, guys, I'm going to come back in a minute. I'm going to show you guys, once we dive into the content a little bit, I'm going to do a exercise, and let's see who we can catch off camera again right now. Let's see. Yeah, we got a few of you guys. Where'd you go? Let's come back. What we're going to do in a second is we are going to create some content. All right. I'm going to take one person's scary offer, and I'm going to create a few different post types and show you guys how easy that can be as a preview of what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So why I'm telling you that is because I want you guys to all take this real quick. All right. And I want you to just make one, whatever you can come up with real quick, and dump it into the chat. And in a little bit, I'm going to come back. I'm going to pick one at random, and I'm going to do the content based on that. So grab this, do it up, put the work in. And you guys know what I've said all along the way. Those who do the work are the ones that are going to get the points towards the prizes. So create your scary offer, dump the scary offer in here, and we'll circle back around to this in a second.
Should I put 2 minutes on the clock?
Put up that you wanted to do the video, right, at this point. So by creating and implement their scary offer, Cam and Casey were able to start attracting and closing their dream clients, like this 12-month paid in full 24K contract that they did before.
All right.
So Rahul's going to put up a quick little video while you guys create the scary offer, and then we're going to dive into creating some content and doing that shit next.
Hey, Ro.
Hey.
We just literally closed a $3K a month deal. So we just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for believing in us. And holy shit.
Yeah, moving that money yesterday with you really helped move us forward in these ways. So thank you for your support. We're so excited to jump in.
Let's do this.
Yes.
So just to put some faces to the name, go ahead, Ro.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just executing, taking action, and just being vulnerable. Because one of the biggest fears that we have is, what are other people going to receive the information we have yet not posted out there? And it doesn't make sense. It's counterintuitive because we haven't tried yet. We think we've already failed. The whole goal of failing is to do the thing so we know what to do differently. So we want to take as many swings at the bat. I mean, think Gary Vaynerchuk. He has a video that talks about, he was talking to himself from 2007 to 2011. And now look where he's at, a 1,500 person agency, one of the biggest agencies out there. But the point being is taking this organic process and putting it into play. And those are the results when done well, when getting coached well, when practicing well, getting answers, being relentlessly curious to get help. That's the outcome of how fast this train could move. That's really how fast this train can move, because within 24 hours of Cam and Casey, they not only closed one deal for 24K, another deal for 30K, and you just saw a different video for $3,000 per month. And that's after 2 months of implementing this. So the consistency starts to mount up once you have that scary offer in place, the perfect stranger copy, which we're going to go through, in place, and that natural curiosity to always want more.
Love it. Now, guys, just preparing for success. There's three pieces to the Perfect Stranger profile engine specifically on Facebook. All right, we got the scary offer, which we just reviewed, and I see a lot of you people going through right now. We got scary content that actually attracts people once they're there on your profile. And we have the profile funnel itself, which puts all these things on it and creates the engine and makes it move. Now, what we need to do is create that profile funnel. What the funnel looks like, it needs to clearly explain what you do. The worst thing I see a lot of entrepreneurs do is they just don't tell people what it is that they do. There's nowhere on their whole profile or anything online that says, hey, this is what I do. They might have built a website and they're like, oh, people will end up on that website. Or have a business card that they hand out occasionally at a BNI to all of 10 people. But they don't add the 5,000 friends that they could have on Facebook, or the however many people, 5,000 people you could connect with on LinkedIn. And that's what we need to do. Offer a CTA with actual value and be designed to both look good and consistent so you stand out. Everything on the profile should be designed to direct people to whatever your CTA is at that time. Through your optimized profile, you will be able to move all your new Facebook friends to the next stage of your funnel. So whether that's going to be a group, which me and Rahul do occasionally, a chat, an email list, a perfect stranger method masterclass, which is what we've been doing recently, right? You can create based on the event, offer, next step of the funnel, push that next step using your Facebook profile. The objective here is to warm up your Facebook friends list so that they're either ready to buy from you using your content or listen more to whatever it is you're going to say next, right? It's the middle of funnel nurturing system. It's where you're going to incubate strangers to becoming future paying customers. Now, here's an example of what we have going on in the past, a few different things that you've got going on, right? Perfect Stranger Masterclass, get 12 to 20, this kind of stuff that you've all seen. Some of you guys might have even actually done it. And if we click out of this actually, and we just go over here, right, you can see right now, register for the event. It's got the CTA, learn how to do this amazing stuff, click on this button to actually do it, right? We've got different ones in the bio, and we've got featured photos and then content that works the whole way through. And so using this, we're able to do stuff like this presentation today. We're able to get the 70 plus people on here to listen and do the training. We also fill up our groups this way. In between master classes, we have those profile funnels set up. And by having them set up correctly, right, we can achieve our desired end result. It's not always about being beautiful. It's about having a scary offer on there that moves them to the next step of your funnel, the next step of your process, and to incubate those strangers to turn them into future customers. Now, when our students have these engines built in a predictable way, it starts conversations like Charlie, Denise, Alvin, Adam, all on here using the Perfect Stranger method to create conversations, to create and move the needle. Now, this starts, guys, with audience building. Okay, so there's an activity list that you can screenshot right now. If you're on it, I'm going to hover on it for a bit and go through each part. This is the stuff that's going to fuel the engine. So if the perfect stranger method in the profile funnel is the car, this is the fuel that you have to put in that car to make sure that it actually works. And it's the consistency of doing this every single day that creates the momentum that allows you to succeed. It's not often that you're going to turn something on and it's going to work right away. But if you do this every day for a little bit, a couple of weeks, a month, you're going to start to see a lot of conversations, a lot of new people, a lot of new engagement, and that's all going to be able to be structured in a strategic way to convert later on down the road. So what you need to do, guys, you need to add 25 to 50 new Facebook friends in your niche every day. What does that look like? If my niche is real estate, I can go and type in Vancouver, which is where I am, real estate. All right. We're going to hit groups. We're going to find 10, 15, 20 groups of where my dream clients hang out. We're going to get ourselves added to those groups. We're going to click into the groups. All right. And we're going to see that somebody in some point of their lives has trained realtors to do nothing but drop listings inside of random groups for their whole entire lives. And you're going to go to each one, you're going to add them as a friend. Right. Or you can go to the members area and you can add 25 to 50 as a friend. Boom, you're done for the day. And do that consistently, you can start to build up your network. Post in those groups with real value, not spam. Don't start doing CTA crap. That's not going to help. You're going to get kicked out. Don't say DM me to get you a bunch of leads and crap that's going to get you kicked out of the group. Document. We're going to go through some types of content here in a second, and part of it is document, don't create. A great place to document is inside these groups. And what document means is show other people that you're awesome at what you do. Don't say DM me to figure it all out. Just literally say, hey, I just launched this. I just got these awesome results. Anybody have any thoughts on it? And engage in conversations.
And this comes to groups, guys. So on your own profiles, you can do the 2-step, which we'll show you. But when it comes to other people's groups, we want to be respectful to the group owner, because group owners want reliable, good quality shares and content. So they're not going to remove them. They're going to notice you that you look like the authority. So you can just add value in a topic you already know. So you can document, not create. A good method of not creating, meaning you're documenting it, is something that just happened. I just got off a great call with another real estate agent. Here's what we covered. You can say we went over personal branding and why it's the long game. Here's why. 1, 2, 3. Now you got something you already know intimately. It just happened, and all you're documenting and sharing it in somebody else's group. People will like it. People will share it. People will comment. People start adding you as a friend. And right here, in bullet point number 4, comment on 3 to 5 posts each day to your niche to add value, so people look at you as an authority. In parentheses, with time. It will take some time, but participate, because this won't take you more than 15, 20, 30 minutes, but the end result just accumulates over time. Imagine if you do this every single day for 365 days, how many clients you could be having with just this one bullet point, this one strategy, just adding value to the people who already want what you offer. Just think about that for a moment. That's how fast this thing can work with consistency. That's why screenshot this sucker. This is literally a to-do list.
Good. I want to hover, guys, on something he just said. Remember that this is a social platform, all right? So the algorithms and everything else behind the scenes are all designed to create engagement and to keep people on the platform. So that's why these things down here where it says comment on these posts, right? That's going to be what gets you to actually be seen. So if you add friends in a group and then you comment on a bunch of people's posts and actually add value and other people like it and that engagement is created, when you go and post in that group or when you go and post on your profile, those same people will generally see your stuff. And it's going to lift you up and be able to create more engagement for yourself, because that's what Facebook rewards. Ahmed says you have to do all of these things. Some of these tasks you're going to have to wait for, right? Getting interviewed 1 or 2 times a month, you're going to have to put in some effort and to actually get going. Conducting 5 to 10 strategy calls every week is going to take a little bit of time to ramp up, but this should be your goal, right? Some of this stuff you do right away and you do it every day and it accomplishes the end goals by the end of it. So
we have comprehensive strategies on these things to get interviewed, interview other people, templates that we use, how to promote it to get people to show up. I mean, heck, we've interviewed the CEO of Sony Home Entertainment Group. We've interviewed Jim Cathcart, 21 books, best-selling, some taught in colleges on relationship selling. the Acorn Principle. So we've interviewed some of the top people. And for the real estate folks out there, we've interviewed the chief economic analyst for the National Association of Realtors, all just using this exact method without having any point of reference, without even looking for the Kevin Bacon effect of having 6 degrees of separation. We just go with a strategy, we implement it, we do it at every single day, and then we get the result. But we're also time blocking. That's one thing we haven't really talked about. I think that's kind of important is like, if you think about what Cody just showed you, adding 20 to 50 people, how quick do you think you guys could add the add button? Even if you looked at their profile, how long does it take to click, look at their profile, hit the little back arrow in your mobile app, add them as a friend? And when they accept it, have a templated message on your notes on your phone. You can copy and paste and send it. So we want to get that system going. How many people, how many groups can you jump into with just typing in Vancouver real estate, dentists, podiatrists, chiropractors, gym owners, small businesses, all in your local neighborhood if geography is important to you? Posting on your profile. I mean, I call those literally Starbucks moments. I'm waiting in line. Like I would say 9 out of 10 of my posts are while I'm waiting for my coffee. I order it ahead, sit in a chair, write some shit, post it, and I'm done for that moment. So it's pretty simple once we make it simple for ourselves, once we systematize, once we do it, once we get help. So that's important. So just think of like a process that you can put in place by just following this one screenshot right here.
We've already kind of gone through this. I'm going to quickly go through it, guys. When joining the groups, search for the ideal customers, monitor the top posts, engage in that stuff, and emulate those posts to build authority. All right. Now, once people had these audiences, this is when we start seeing success. All right. This is when we start seeing you're closing the deals using the perfect stranger method. This is when you're seeing people getting their DMs blown up, closing 2 new potential clients, closing 3 new clients, 40 new people in the messenger, right? All of this stuff that works so well is what we want to be able to see to do this and moving forward. So our students put this shit to work, this exact thing that you guys can now take from this and start putting it to work as well. Now that they had some audiences, guys, we had to start giving them value. And that means posting targeted, valuable, scary content that actually engages the audience. Bring them into Messenger using a strategic proven script and then turning that conversation into a sales call. So let's look at what creating scary content means. It means taking the scary offer formula and applying it to your posts. Okay, one more time. It means taking your scary offer formula and applying it to your post types, right? So if you've watched any of our stuff in the past, you might be brand new to this, but we have a few different content types we're going to go through in just a sec. Conversion and teach them how to think content. All right. We're going to be now taking those types of content and applying this formula to create even stronger appeal to our audience. All right. So what that means, scary offer formula, one more time, guys, just to repeat, is a big end result plus customer language, plus specificity, plus risk reversal, all creates the scary offer. Now we want to apply it to one of these post types. But first, let's review the different types of stuff. So when we create content, we put it into 2 sections. All right. One section is conversion content. This is the stuff where we're directly asking on our profile and in our own groups for people to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in that thing, whether it be some kind of training, ebook, cheat sheet, value, call, offer, direct, any of that stuff. This is different forms of content that creates that, yes, I want to talk to you. Please, let's do it. The other side of this is teaching them how to think content. Now, this is where we're going live. This is where we're creating those longer form story posts. And this is where it comes into place where we say document, don't create. Teach them how to think content. Specifically, what we're doing is we're trying to take all of these objections that we run into consistently from our people, right? Money scarcity objections. I can't do this until next month objections. I'm putting you up against 3 or 4 other people, and I've just got to take some time, and it's my process objections, right? Who's heard these types of things consistently? I just don't got enough money. I can't afford this, because they're viewing it as an expense and they're not viewing it as an investment. Drop me a 1 in the chat, guys, if you've heard any of these objections consistently and you're running into it and you're kind of struggling with being able to get people past that. And so this is what this content can do. All right. So what I mean by this, let's see if we can't go and see some kind of a teach them how to think post that I've done recently that kind of tells the story. Let's scroll through so I can show you what I mean. I think one that I did recently was a story I like to tell. Where is it? Getting there. Here. Yeah. So this one, I used a metaphor story, not a real story, just a metaphorical story on two racers. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to get people to understand, what am I teaching them how to think in this? I'm teaching them that taking action is what they need to do to succeed, that imperfect action is better, that trying to be perfect is stopping them from being great. All right. And how does that relate to the sales team and to the people that we book calls with? I'm trying to get them to want to go now. Right? Not next month, not next year. I think this was, at the beginning of the year. And so I tell the story of two racers, right? Two people who are at the starting line. And the metaphor is because we're at the beginning of the year when I posted this. One guy takes off. The other guy sits on the starting line looking at the racetrack. How do I run this best possible race? What should my first few steps be? Which lane should I take? How fast should I start the race? How fast should I end the race? And while that guy's thinking, the other guy just takes off. Now, the guy who takes off immediately trips, falls on his face, slams his face on the pavement. And the other guy now looks over at him and says, oh, how do I not do that? So I really don't want to fall on my face. So what do I got to do in the beginning of this race not to fall on my face? And while he's still thinking about that, the guy who fell on his face got back up, ran, finished the race, won the race. And so by using this story, right, I'm able to get my point across. I'm able to get people to relate to that. And that's what we need to be able to do with this teach them how to think content. We need to be able to use the power of story, use the power of your own story, a metaphor, your client's story, go live on it, do story posts on it to teach people how to think about your offer, about how to think about the conversations you're going to have in the future. But something that you preach over and over and over again can help. Documenting, not create, means you as people have a hard time sometimes thinking like, what am I supposed to do? How do I create something? Right? We have students that do this really well. I just launched a brand new campaign for realtors. I just got 10 leads on my first day. They were all $3 a lead. That's it. Boom. That's document, don't create. Document, don't create allows you to start teaching people how to think about you being successful, about you being the good person, the expert in that thing that they want. Doing these three things sprinkled in with the conversion-based content, that's how we get the jab, 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 right hook. That's how we get the ability and the bucket of value that gets filled up before we make the asking. All right, before we get the people to actually take action with us. Then the conversion-based content, we got mission posts, we got two-step posts, we got engagement questions, we got launch posts. And I'm going to show you what all of these kind of look like, individual assets and all that stuff as we go through. The first thing I want to show you is scary content applied to a two-step value post. Some of you guys might see this exact post is pinned to my profile right now. Got about 600, it's got more than this comments, all right? And this is where we've applied the scary offer formula to a post to make people want to have it, right? So we've got a big end result, like 10 new clients. We've got customer language. We're talking about clients to Facebook agencies. Specificity, 10 new clients in 3 weeks, right? Specificity, exactly how long that took. And then risk reversal, because we're going to give you the process 100% free. Can't get any more risk reversal than that. There is no risk. You don't got to pay me anything. All you got to do is commit to actually watching it and take action, right? Can everybody see how this formula applied to this kind of a post and why this post went off? Does it make sense to anybody? Drop me a one in the chat if this is resonating with you on how to create something like this and how that was applied to a simple two-step process to be able to make this happen. Drop me a 2 in the chat if you've actually seen this post and commented on it and it affected you and it resonated with you and you were able to actually start a conversation that way. So I
Drop
know
a 3 if you probably bought from this. So this starts our conversations, guys. Like when we're consistent and we develop the authority and we keep going and going and we build all those to-do lists, like our friends list, our exposure list, our authority, the more consistent we are with what we do, the more we're going to believe it ourselves, but also more importantly, the more our target audience is going to resonate with this, because I used to have an employee that worked for me for 5 years, maybe 6 years. And he went off and started a podcasting thing. And I thought, heck, this dude doesn't know shit. This guy doesn't know a damn thing about starting an agency. Next thing you know, I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing this equipment. Here's my setup. Here's what I got. Kept saying podcast. He's the only person I can think of when it comes to podcast marketing. Next thing you know, I'm a guest on the podcast. Ryan Dice became a guest. The founder of Moz.com became a guest, Rand Fishkin, but he spoke it into existence. He stayed committed. He followed the process. He trained, he learned, he had mentors, constantly reinforcing his refined marketing statement. And the end result is working with Netflix and Cheesecake Factory and huge brands by just understanding how to use this two-step, this perfect stranger method. There's a lot of other things, like Cody mentioned in the beginning, that there's other parts of the business. This just gets our traffic up, our exposure up, so we even have these opportunities to take a swing at the bat.
So guys, I really want to focus in on this, right? This matters. This is scary content. This is the difference between maybe a post that kind of looks like this but didn't work and a post that is this and does, right? Applying this formula and doing everything in a specific, strategic kind of way makes all the difference. All right. Now, what I want to do, guys, is I took a scary offer earlier. I copied one that I saw. All right. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to implement it over here. We're going to do a quick exercise. Now, I know there's a bunch of other people that say, please do mine, please do mine, please do mine. Guys, I'm going to go over this in a second, but tomorrow is an implementation day. So tomorrow, everybody that's there, we're going to go over all of this stuff individually. I'm going to review scary offers with all you rock stars. And on top of that, we're going to actually build some out. We're going to build a promo cycle, content cycle out to be able to do a bunch of shit. And I'll go over all of that in just a second after I'm done this.
Well, I want to spill the beans a little bit. It'll be 30 days of content.
I know. I heard you take a
It'll be
breath.
30 days of content. I want to spill that right now.
Well, okay. So this is from Blaine, I believe. Put this in here. I saw it was around the midway point.
Ooh, Blaine, you're in the house. Where's Blaine? Are you here? Blaine here. Unmute yourself.
Yes, I am.
All right, perfect.
Blaine.
All
Now,
right.
we're going to do two things with this. All right. So this is your scary offer for now. Now, what's your process? What are you doing to accomplish this? Is it paid traffic?
Yes. I'm also just starting out, so I may not know all the answers to these questions.
Cool. So offer, right? To ads, to follow-up, maybe even appointments. What do we got? Patients, good. Applications, appointments, right? Now, why we want both of these things? We can take both of these things, right? Once we have them, and we can create content pretty easily, guys. And that's what I want to show you guys today. All right, so once we have this, let me just review scary offer. I help clinics get 20 high-quality patients per month, or we work for free until you do. Boom, that's good, right? Patients, customer language, specificity, 20 every month. Risk reversal, work for free until we do. Clinics, what kind of clinics are we talking about?
Chiropractic clinics.
Well, let's say Kairos. Let's direct that specifically to it. All right. High quality patients per month, or we work for free until we do. This is a good starting point for the scary offer. So we're going to leave it. Offer, ads, follow-up process. All right. Now, what I want to show you guys is how we can create a few posts this way. All right. Mission post. We're going to create a 2-step post. And we're going to create a question post. All right. So first, we get the mission post. Now, I am not a fan anymore really of the "it's my mission, are you with me" shit, because there's too many people doing that. You can blame us if you want, but we've changed it up a little tiny bit. All right. So now what I say actually is a variation on this. So basically, I try to word it in a way that says, I've done this before. I'm going to do it for a few more people. Do you want to be one of those people? Very easy to understand template, right? So this is the situation where it's going to be like, I'm going to help 5 more chiros add 20 high quality patients in the next 30 days. Want to be one of them? Right? Put a couple of hands down emojis and there you go. Mission post. Second one we got is a 2-step post. 2-step post. All right. Now, the 2-step post is where the process comes into place. So what you're doing to accomplish this goal, right, is all of these different things. So if you don't want to give away the whole thing, which you can, what you can do is start to give away pieces of it that gets them interested in wanting to know the rest, right? For instance, what did I show you guys at the beginning of this presentation? I like to get meta on this kind of shit. What did I say? This was the first piece of the puzzle, right? I showed you the rest of the puzzle, all the other shit that we would want to teach you to be able to accomplish all those goals. You following me, Blaine? Blaine, you can unmute yourself and interact on this, my man, so that because this is your shit. You following me on that?
Yep.
Cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, cool, there's a bunch of different things on here that we could strip out. So let's say offer, right? So we just closed 20 brand new patients. We're our Cairo clinic client in the last 10 days, right? And you can, whatever results you want to say, what you got, all that kind of stuff, right? Small tweak to their offer. Let's see what it was, right? Oh, are you using offer plus your scary offer to get people's blood pumping, right? Or we could do ads, right? Part of the process, right? So using, right? You see how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that so far, Blaine?
Nope.
Right. So what are we doing here? What did I do to create this specifically?
Tease them a little bit and then ask if they want to know how.
Correct. What we're doing with the two-step post always, right, is we're trying to get them to want it. And then that comes when we're applying the scary offer method, right? What are we doing? Customer language, specificity. We're giving it away for free. So that's risk reversal, right? All of the elements are in here. And we're just using these two things to create. I could create, using these two things, I can create endless content for two-step posts. All right. And it's not hard. Like, you're already running the ad. You already probably know what the offer is. You're running successfully on your ad campaigns. You've got the follow-up to be able to give away. Like, you've got 100 pieces of different things that you could do. You could shoot a video on any of it, right? This is all endless supplies of shit you can give away absolutely free. Everybody else, as well as Blaine, too. Drop me a 1 in the chat, guys, if this is resonating with you. You can kind of see how easy this can really be by just following this process and laying it all out and understanding the structure, right? The one last thing here is I want to show you over here, Blaine. So what we do here now, what I mean by, oops, go back, question posts, right, is I actually did one. Let's see, for this one, wherever it is, right here. So who on my friends list is using Facebook for organic? We have something special for you. Exactly this, right? Because this is an organic marketing training. We got something cool coming up for you. This is what it is. 82 comments. So the question for you could now become, right? Do I have any Kairos? Let me do this. Question post, right? Do I have any chiropractors on my friends list using Facebook to generate new business? I have something special for you. Again, winky emoji, face fire emoji. There you go. Right? And so again, by understanding your target market, by understanding what you're doing and understanding your process and your scary offer, boom. And what did that take? Like 5 minutes? Anybody time me on that? Who's got timer on that? What did that take me to write that, right? I could do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's not about, right, how fast I can do it, because I've done this a bunch of times. It's about you seeing how easy it can be by following a structure, by following a process for it. Does that make sense, Blaine?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Any questions on any of this? Do you see how this can work for you and how easy it is to put together?
Yeah, it's really simple.
Beautiful. Cool. I'm going to end this screen sharing like we'll give you guys 5 seconds. I'm going to screenshot this or whatever any of you people want to do. We got 5, we got 4, we got 3.
Can I see the top part?
2, what's the top part?
It starts with Blaine on the top.
That is the top part, yeah. This part right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All good? Good. Cool. I'm going to stop it. Good. All right. Thank you very much, Blaine. Hope that was helpful, my man. So a couple more examples of this, guys. All right. So you can see we got engagement questions like the one I just showed you. Same kind of thing over here. We got launch posts, which are just more direct to the point. Hey, do you want to steal this toolkit? Do you want to go through all this stuff? Bullet point out what your offer is. Mission posts in the old school style. My mission to help 15 more digital marketing agencies hit an extra 100K this year. Who is with me? Document, don't create. Wins, guys. It's great to share wins. I do wins for two different reasons. You'll see on my profile all the time. I'm celebrating GSD students who are kicking ass and taking names. That's for two reasons. One is we're family and I like to celebrate one another. I think the rising tide lifts up all boats and I want to be a part of that. Two is to tell everybody else who's not in the GSD that this shit works. I want to teach them beforehand, before we ever get on a call, that this stuff is going to work. And then Rahul likes to talk about the Dodgers in the middle. I don't remember why he put that one in there.
Yeah, like I mix up content to re-engage people. So I go into like fun stuff that's not just business. It's to also get like just other people to see a different side, so they know it's not just business alone. The reason this very specific screenshot of the Dodgers Kirk Gibson right here, it's probably during the World Series, I imagine, but this guy below it, Scott Beheller, he actually turned into a client because we were on a sales call. He expressed interest in baseball. I posted a baseball picture after our first call. He became a buyer because he said, I didn't know you were a Dodgers fan. I said, I am. So I found that common ground, used that content to bring him from a stranger that had one call to a buyer right away. So that's where I document the process. I used a strategy.
I knew there was a reason in there somewhere.
That was the very specific reason, is because of that sales call. I immediately got off, thought of an idea. I just happened to be luck. There was like some 30 for 30 on ESPN, pulled this part where Kirk Gibson hits a walk-off. And next thing you know, we have a new client because of it. So Ben and I are going to walk you guys through this part right now. Ben is our lead setter for the team. So he came in just like you guys, just figuring the stuff out, learning it, going through training. And then ultimately now he's actually booking calls left and right and also qualifying them. So these are the key steps. Your ideal audience comments on your post to get your call to action, to join your mission or learn more. Before reaching out to them in Messenger, make sure that you can do two things. Number one, if you get like a huge barrage of response, you don't necessarily have to ask for permission. We like to ask for permission just to make sure we get that engagement and that permission to slide in their DM. And we just say little simple things. Is it okay if I DM it over to you? Something very, very simple. We don't overthink it. We keep it super simple. Or if it's a bit post that explodes and we just don't have time to wait for that interaction, we jump in and start the conversation on our public post. We'll say something simple like check DM, and then we circle back if we haven't heard back from them later in the day saying, did you get it? And then what that allows us to do is have that engagement, because it helps with two things. Number one is going to be, you have a lot of comments on your post. Part of yours, part of theirs. Number two, it creates a lot of engagement. And when you guess what Facebook is, it's a social network. It's an engagement platform. The more comments that you get, the more engagement, Facebook will show it to more people. That's how the algorithm works. Engaging content gets rewarded with more reach to more people. And best of all, it's free. It's your own broadcast station, all totally free of charge. And you actually benefit Facebook because that's what they're doing. Same with Instagram or any social platform, LinkedIn, wherever you use this. It's not just for Facebook. The important part is when you get engaging content, they're going to reward you with reach. Now, Facebook's value in their stock price and their advertising dollars goes up too. So everybody wins. That's why we have this exact process laid out to play nicely with this big company that gives us this huge, huge opportunity. And once they give you permission, of course, you're going to utilize the scripts that will show you and walk you through. And that's how we go from cold to warm. We want to have that evolution of taking that perfect stranger into a legitimate, intimate two-way conversation. And then we can level up the conversation. For example, we'll have conversations where it's just going to be text-based. If we want to raise intimacy, Like if you guys pull out your phones for me, for those of you guys that are not on your computers or that are not on your phones, pull out your phones. Let's pull out the Facebook app really quickly. And make sure you do DM Cody Stranger to get the gift, that 30-day promo cycle as well. But when you go there, like tell me what you guys see. Like go to a conversation. It doesn't mean you have to send anything. And you see on here, you have the little camera button, you have the picture button, and you have the voice memo button. As we start to have more conversations, we can raise intimacy by one level. We can do a short voice memo. We can be like, yo, what up, brother? Hope you had a great time on the masterclass. Did you get your ticket for day 2? I want to make sure you're taken care of. Hope to see you tomorrow. Voice memo done, right? So I've raised intimacy with somebody. And I want to keep that first point of contact extremely short. I don't want to talk so fast that I'm not articulating what I'm saying, but I don't want to go 60 seconds because it looks overwhelming. It's like, fuck, 60 seconds. I'll get to that later. And if they don't mark it as unread, they're not coming back to it. So we just want to be conscious that our first message is short. You can stack 2 in a row if you want, 27 seconds, 19 seconds. People will read it. It's a game. We're gamifying people. We want to make sure that we're respectful for time, because there's nothing worse in the world than getting a long voice memo, and especially like 3 or 4 of them from somebody that you don't even know. They're vomiting on you. So we're just trying to raise that intimacy. One level up beyond that. Anybody know the next level up of intimacy? So we got text. We got voice. What would be next? Anybody in the chat? Drop what that next level of intimacy would be. We're not at Zoom yet. Yes, video. You guys that said video. So like I'll turn on my camera. I can do it directly through the app. I typically go to my camera on my photos. I flip the camera around. I make sure the background isn't all fucked up. And then I say whatever I want. And I will start off back like this. And then I move in. I'll be like, yo, Ben. And then I just kind of move in. So it kind of gets that engagement effect right away. So it's that little initial start where I can now start that conversation. And what that ends up doing for me, it allows me to continue the conversation. Keep it higher engagement, higher intimacy, because now they can see me, they can hear me. And now it becomes even more warm as we move on to the next step, as we're maturing to make sure that we can get that next call. Flip over to the next slide, Cody. Cool. So here are some examples of how we're in the public conversation. You can see like in this post on the top left, 746 comments. You can see that the comment that we asked them to say was more leads. So when people say more leads, awesome. Do you mind if I direct message this to you? That's fine. More leads, sweet. Permission to message this to you. More leads. You got it. You got it. Is it okay if I message you? Abso-friggin-lutely. So now you can see how we're using that permission base. So we're just getting one level deeper with them, saying, hey, we have this, more leads. Would it be okay with you if I send it to you? Yeah, absolutely. So now they're anticipating it. So when we start the conversation, it's a little bit warmer. And you can see another example on the right. There was a lot of engagement, 340 posts. And you can see the exact commentary, permission to PM them to you. Yes, please, permission to slide in your DMs. We're taking a variation of this. Because when we get some comments, we don't jump on it right away all the time unless we're totally available and see it live. We may wait for a bunch of comments to start, maybe 5 or 10, maybe 2 or 3, depending on engagement. Then we start the transfer of exchange of information. We start the conversation right here. Now, if we get low engagement, then that's okay. It'll start to permutate. And the best part is every post, like we get posts, Cody showed you some of these slides. You've seen some of the dates. You've seen some say 2019. People find these older posts over time as well. So every post that takes off is now a sales asset for you. It's a perfect stranger method like Mecca. It's because a 2-year-old post, imagine if a 2-year-old post pays you today. People find it, people see it, they comment on it, or you go back and comment on your old shit. It reinvigorates the algorithm. Now it rises to the top. Now you can actually build content off of more old content. So we don't have to struggle. We don't have to create. We can just document. So what do we say in Messenger? It's the 3 W's. It's pretty simple, but we have a better framework than just going straight into salesmanship and trying to sound like we're just pushing stuff. Because the one thing that we're always trying to do is we're the nurse at this stage. We just want to send them what we feel is relevant to them. So if somebody says, hey, I want more, I want your sales script, or I want your ad that crushes it with whatever your Cairo ads, we want to make sure it's relevant for them. So I'd be like, cool, I'm happy to send that over to you. You mind if I ask you a few questions? Just make sure whatever we share is totally relevant. And then we need to know where they are in the business. So if somebody wants a sales script, what could we presume they would need help with? Like in the chat, what could we presume that they need help with? This is just some basic critical thinking, because I'm always looking at what would be the next logical step in somebody's journey. Now that you've requested this, what could you want help with? Sales. Exactly, Shantae. So fulfillment could be one. That's after sales. We want to sell before we're ready. So when it comes to sales, like, hey, who wants my $35 million sales script? Me. Cool. Like, what does your current sales process look like? Like, where do you feel would be a game changer if you can change something in your business? Do you like the way you're doing sales now? What's one thing that I can help lend you some advice that would change the way you can scale this process? So simple little conversational tools that we can use to engage somebody, because in order for us to help, we have to be the nurse. We have to understand before we can actually hop on a call, could we even help you first? And we have to eliminate all the skepticism out there. And that's why the knowing our product, knowing our refined marketing statement, knowing who we're serving, like Cody went over in the first part, is so important, because it makes us more confident in what we're doing. We're not selling 50 things. We're offering one thing. We can help eliminate the fear of money from your business, the fear of not knowing when another person's going to come into your business, your store, your agency, your coaching business, whatever it may be. We're eliminating that one fear so you can have one main motivator. All roads lead to one thing. Does anybody know what that one thing is that everybody wants? All said and done, we work so hard to get one thing, and that's going to be the freedom. We want to be able to have the freedom to make choices. So what we do is the vehicle to a bigger why. We want to be able to make choices. We want to be able to swipe the credit card at expensive steakhouses without having to look at the bank account. We want to take a day off without checking emails, knowing that our business is still going well. So that's the end point, the overall goal. But it all starts with these boring little basics. The boring always wins. And we're not trying to fix the problems inside a messenger. We just can't. It's too early. Because like, think about it. If I went into a doctor's office, the dude just eyed me up and down and said, hey, let's prep for the operating room. I'm like, dude, I just have a headache, man. I don't need an operating room. He didn't diagnose me. So that's all we're doing. We're not trying to solve the problems. We just want to make sure that we can help them. And if we can, would you be against hopping on a short call? Does that make sense to everybody? Now, the only goal of this, there's only one goal. It's number one, or actually, let me go with two. There's two goals. Warm them up, because you want to make sure you're talking to relevant people. And number two, transition them to a conversation, a phone call. If that's the way you're selling, transition it that way. If you're selling online, transition them to wherever that online thing is. It could be in a challenge. It could be in a group. It could be somewhere. Whatever your goal is for that particular post, follow that process. A lot of you guys are going to want to get on phone calls. Some of you guys will get advanced and do group Zoom calls. So whatever that goal is, just remember what your goal is. You want to get on a call for most of you. And then as you test your audience, just make small tweaks. You don't have to start over. You don't have to make a new offer. You don't have to change your pricing. You just have to get better at demonstrating value. Because when we're living in a skeptical world, we need to be aware of that. We have to eliminate the person themselves of their fear, that we can get them where they want to go. And that starts with that scary offer, which allows the rest of this process to be a little bit easier, because they're already curious to want to continue the conversation. And just keep things abundantly simple. Do not overthink your responses. Like, I mean, Ben's seen me live where we're just dicking around, having fun. Like, I like to have fun with this stuff. Like, I'll ask older leads, I'll reinvigorate them. I'll say, you like the Grateful Dead? Like, what? LOL. I'm like, oh, just kidding, man. I just saw a Grateful Dead commercial on television. I haven't seen those guys in a while. Maybe it's past your time. But anyways, how's biz going? So I can re-engage. Yeah, exactly, Larry. You just got to get better at demonstrating the value all the time, because that's what people are buying, right? They're not buying, if you're going to Hawaii, sell them Hawaii. They're not buying the screaming babies, the long ticket counters, the long waits to get on the plane, the delays. They want just the end result. So that's what we're going to be offering. And we're going to make an offer. We're going to make sure that our offer is also just to get them to get on a call. Using simple language. Would you be against hopping on a call to see if we can even help? Would you be against hopping on a quick call to see if we can even help? So it's just the language pattern. So this isn't hard to implement. It takes practice. It takes time. Ben, like, how much practice do you put into this?
Every day.
Yeah. So we're practicing this every day. Like, how long do you spend in a day to just be better at just this one thing?
An hour every morning.
An hour in the morning. That's it. An hour of your day. We have 24 of those hours. How are we going to use them wisely? How are we going to prioritize it? This is why we prioritize Ben's time to spend an hour to learn just this one skill, the art and science of being able to use text-based messaging platforms to get people to want to actually change. That's all we are. We're change makers. We help people make change. We allow people to have the permission to get what they want rather than suffer. So think about it as a responsibility level. Like for instance, like Blaine, you're going to be working with chiropractors. Larry, you're working with business owners. Think of it as your responsibility. If you knowingly know you have something that you have to give, whether you're experienced or not, but you have the energy, the effort, the desire, the will, and you don't make that offer to that person, what if they choose the wrong person? What if they do nothing? And then next week, the following year, their shit is no better than it was the day you decided not to make that offer. What if they go out of business? Take a little bit of personal responsibility too, that it's your job to get better. It's you or someone else. That someone else could also be nobody. Because how many people have you ever met in life where they did not do anything and they're worse off because of that decision? They didn't hire the marketing firm. They didn't hire the coach. They didn't implement the funnel. They did it their way and it failed. Have you guys ever met a friend like that? Like a person that just complains life happened to them, not for them? That's what we want to change. We have to have that desire to be able to help the people. And don't worry about faking it till you make it. This skill will eliminate any imposter syndrome that you feel. I don't feel like I'm good enough. Welcome to the fucking club. Everybody feels that way at some point or another. Michael Jordan missed the most amount of shots that were with the game on the line. It's the biggest failure in basketball. But we all know his name, right? So we got to take those shots. That's how we're going to win. All right, let's go to the next slide. This is flame. Awesome. Fire. So yeah, I love fire emojis. And also, anybody know who these two gentlemen are? Are you guys old enough in this chat to know who these people are? This is where the name of this campaign, of this whole entire coaching scenario, this like what I call the famous Perfect Stranger Method 2.0, now 2.0. Perfect Strangers, the television show. That's Cousin Larry and Balky. So that's how we came out with the name. And we were talking about like these cold to soul, these people who don't even know who we are, handing us credit cards over the phone. It's because we've been able to demonstrate this skill over time. So we called it, man, we got the Perfect Strangers. And they're like, the television show Perfect Strangers. So those are those two gentlemen, just in case you didn't know who they were. We should probably put our faces on those and make it a meme. That'd be kind of weird though. But anyways, let's keep going. So going back to the mission post, Cody gave you, this is 2.0. So Cody already gave you guys the new version of a mission post. So this you can use. Will this work? Sure it will. If you have the right types of people on your friends list, the right people that you built on your pipeline. If you add value and you post a mission post, people will be supporting you. The purpose of this is to put your stamp in the world of what you do, demonstrate to people that you want to do it, you can do it. And if people engage, your friends, your family, that's engagement. It's important for everybody to know exactly what the fuck you do so they can refer you business and think of you. When I post stuff, I will get people even from my high school, which is shocking to me, which shows me after doing this 18 years that I still got to talk about what I do. People didn't know we did marketing. And I'm like, how on earth didn't you know that? But that's my fault. I need to post more. I need to demonstrate that I do what I do so we can get people to reach back out to us. So when they think of who can do this, why not think of somebody you already know, like, and trust versus roll the dice on a complete stranger? We've done a lot of business with a lot of family members and a hell of a lot of friends, because when people say never do business with friends and family, they just may not be getting the right friends and family. They may be not setting the right expectations. Those are the people who trust you the most. They're not a pain in the ass when you draw a line in the sand and set expectations. So we have training on that too. So here's the reply, permission to slide in your DM. You might want to screenshot that so you can take a couple variations, change it up, have fun with it. Can I slide up in the DMs? Yo, thanks for the comment. Can I send it over to you? Have some fun with it. Use your personality and make sure it's appropriate also at the same time for that target audience. If you're dealing with very high professional people, maybe be a little bit more polished and professional. If you're dealing with more of a crowd that doesn't mind like language or Kanye West style content, then just use fun things. Have fun with it. That's what this whole point is. You want to have fun with this so you can see your calendar, have 10 appointments by the end of the week. All right, so here's some messaging sequences. So let's see. So thanks for commenting on my posts. Cool. Can I ask you a few questions about your biz to see if we're able to help further? So take this with a grain of salt, like modify this, use your own language. What I might say will be slightly different than Ben's tonality. When Ben's using my profile, he'll be using more of my language. When he's using his profile, he'll be using more of his language. So do what's best for matching what you do, your own personality. So this is more of a direct type conversation when somebody we already know knows us. So when somebody knows us and we do a post where we're doing a masterclass or we're giving away something, we want to get right to the point. What kind of revenue are you doing month to month? All right, cool. What are you shooting for? All right, what do you think is the bottleneck that's stopping you from hitting that target? So think of it as a sequential conversation. All we're doing is being the nurse. We just want to see if we can help. So this content right here, number 5, this one is a little bit different than we use something different. This one line right here, would you be open to hopping on a call to explore? We don't use that anymore. But we now say, would you be against hopping on a call to see if we can help you? Would you be against hopping on a call to see if we can help you? Would you be against hopping on a call to see if we can help you? Now, some of the links that we're going to have available before we start this is that previous slide had a Loom link. That Loom link explains what the goal is of this conversation. If we're delegating this, if you're scaling your time with other people, virtual assistants, we make an explainer video really quickly. It's under 5 minutes, preferably under 2, so we can explain what we're about to do, what link they're going to get. So we give them the link of the widget. So if it's a script, it's either a Google Drive that's going to be view only. People can make a copy, or we're going to make just a simple landing page, just an ugly page. It doesn't have to be beautiful, just something quick and dirty that can capture their name, email, and their phone number if you want to build a database. Only if you want to build a database. But if you're trying to go quick, start the conversations, Google Drive is all you simply need. Now, when we get from number 5 to number 6, we just go right into trying to get their information. What's the best email and phone number for booking a call? And then once we get it, depending on how busy we are, if we're super, super slammed, we're going to just now we've got their information. So I can just say, hey, Ahmed, what's the best number to connect? Awesome. Now, what about an email so I can shoot you over a calendar request? Awesome, dude. You know what? Why don't you just book a time here on this calendar that suits your schedule? So now I've got your information so I can contact you, but now because I have lots of comments, I might actually delegate it back to you. If I have time to go through the conversations, which I want you guys to start off with, is this next line. Let me know what day and time works best so I can confirm it. And it'll shoot it right over to you. So you're going to send the calendar link. And if you're using Calendly, fill it in yourself. If you're using Go High Level, fill it in yourself so it automatically goes into whatever database you're using for tracking. If you're not using a database, just use a calendar. Just get it over. I'll say, Blaine, cool. I just shot it over to you. Can you just check to make sure you got it so I can confirm? You'll say, yep, got it. Cool. Just hit that accept thing for me, will you? Awesome, brother. I set up the reminder 15 minutes and 5 minutes before. Do you have time to watch a quick video for me? Yeah, I do. Cool. Drop a video. So now we're getting pre-engagement content. Now, again, if you don't have this type of content available to you, skip it. That's it. Don't worry about creating it. Don't let this stop you or impede you from going forward. That's super duper important. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't blame the tools that you don't have. You can create them along the way. The sooner you do, the better it is. Now, there's a saying that we have. What's the best post we can do? It's the next post. What's the best video we can do? It's the next video. So keep practicing your craft, keep doing the content. That's going to be the golden goose. Like in one of the videos that we had, was that lays all the eggs. You can rely on this traffic. Paid traffic is predictable if you know what you're doing. Organic is more trustworthy because they definitely have that camaraderie with you. They have a connection. They have that degree of separation. Okay, so got it. It's confirmed prior to the call. Go back 1 second, Cody. Sorry, man, to make you control this for me. I look forward to speaking with you. We'll call you then. Did you get the invite? Cool. Talk to you.
Keep on cleaning it off, and you keep on.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Sandra. Talk to you then. PS, one more video. So this is our style. We just want to give them a video, and all that is preliminary sales content. We want to make sure that what you're about to see is going to be highly relevant. We want it to actually excite them for the call. Every step is to make it more intimate as we go, because we are living in a skeptical world. We do have to prove ourselves. We do have to show people that we do have things of value. And that's what this is all for. Like I said, never blame the tools you don't have. Keep going if you don't have videos.
These videos serve a couple of purposes as well. All right. This is where we can re-implement, teach them how to think content. This is where we can actually prove to people that we're coming from a place of help. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is look, you have to leave a sales call or a conversation in Messenger or any kind of conversation with these people from a position of help. One of the main purposes of this is, we used to do sales calls where it was, okay, let's give them this video as a way to warm them up and get them closer to the sale, right? And if that's the position you're coming from, you've got commission breath. You've got that kind of feel where it's like, I know you're just trying to get me to want to buy your shit more. Okay. And that's okay. Of course, that's what you want. But if you come from a position of help, that means you're actually listening to whatever it is they're saying, right? Maybe they don't have enough money for you right now, or they have something going on crazy. They got COVID, all this stuff, right? And they need something. And you have a puzzle piece that could fit in there and help them get a little bit further, 2 steps further along. They're going to remember that shit. When they use that to make a little bit of money, they're going to remember who helped them do it. And they're going to invest in you because you helped them get there. You can probably help them get further. So use these videos like this exit of all of these conversations that Rahul is talking to you about, not as like, here's a testimonial, you'll love me now, and I'm going to buy, right? Don't try and be the rah hero, but come from a position of help. If there's a story from one of your clients that you think could help them, if you have a training that you've done that you think could help them take the next step, trust me when I say the value that you give, the stories that you tell, the connection that you make from truly coming from a position of wanting to help and exiting every conversation with the ability to help the other individual, that shit will reflect back to you, and you'll be able to build a much stronger relationship with clients and prospects that can progress that along. So understand the assets that you have, the videos you have, and use them appropriately. And I promise you guys, you're going to see a lot of success with it.
So let's go to the next slide. Okay, if the lead is a no issue at all, because again, we're refraining from being emotionally attached because honestly, we don't know if we can help them. The game is not to help everybody. It's to help the people who are encouraged, who want things, who are willing to just take one step closer, eliminate sales pressure. We're not selling them anything. We can't sell something that they cannot use. That's that first and foremost. It's an old sales adage, detach yourself from the sale. Then you're going to be coming from a position of gratitude. You're going to be wanting to help them. The conversations, even if they don't go in your direction, you're going to eliminate that call. You're going to leave that call feeling good, not pushy, not salesy, not scumbaggy. And that person will respect that and think of you for the future. If it's not a good fit today, no problem. It may be in the future, but that person may be able to tag you in videos or posts and ClickFunnels or your Cairo groups or whatever your industry is, and recommend you, even though you're not their customer. They're not your customer. That happens a lot, believe it or not. That's one of the best also ways to scale too. So anyways, we want to give them some help, not an issue. Thought I'd drop this video in case you're a little too busy, but may be interested to reach back out when you have some more time. So again, since we've developed the video, we give the video. So anytime when Cody was talking about productizing an offer, productizing the system, same thing with what we have going on here. If we have something that works, just turn it into a 1-page, really dirty, like quick and simple Google sheet. It does not have to be fancy. You can just paste your logo on it, and that is it. As long as the information is pretty good, the aesthetics can be worked on in the future. Now, there's also people that disappear. There's people that you've had in conversations with. You've spent some time on it. And has this ever happened to anybody? Okay, cool. So we have some emojis that we utilize. And like, I know Sandra's family's not ghosting her. I can hear them right now. So we can definitely hear they're around. But when we used for these emojis, but Ben, you hop on because you use this part more. We use like the Jim Carrey graphic. Somebody mentioned it already. That's one of them. What else do you use, man? What's your go-to ghosting lines or emojis?
Are you just
what's that?
My go-to is, are you just ignoring me on purpose? Question mark.
Yeah. Are you ignoring me on purpose? What's the prom line?
The prom line is, oh, it feels like prom all over again, being stood up. Ha ha ha. LOL.
Yeah. So those types of lines just get people to laugh. We'll get people to say, "Oh shit, you got me." Like we'll say something like, literally, like, "This feels like prom all over again. Feeling stood up." LOL. I sometimes take it a little bit of a step further. I'll use that same prom line, and then a next sentence will say, "Should I cancel the limo bus?" So we're literally having fun with this, and we're finding out what's going to get somebody to respond, and then we move on to the next. We move on to the next. And if somebody gets aged and we don't want, like, it's a stack blue messages without anybody responding, one little hack, you can hold down one of the messages that you just sent and add an emoji to it. Like the O face is what I typically do, the where the mouth is open. So I don't have to waste a second message. It gives them that alert without having to have another comment below it. So aesthetically, it's not like 3 or 4 blues. And when we're following up, follow up is the name of the game sometimes. Okay. Follow up is key. So don't feel bad if you feel like you're beating a dead horse. Just use your time wisely. Just saying, all right, now I'm going to go through the people who haven't responded. Just boom, quick messages. Or you can make a new offer saying, hey, we're about to launch our Perfect Stranger 2.0. Would any interest in joining ... It's a free event. Re-engage them with some more value. Don't hate on them. Don't get angry. Don't worry, because how many people are on this earth? I don't even know the answer to that, but I know it's over 7 billion. Now, how many people are in your target audience? 1 million people who do what you want, that do what you can sell them. We have a lot of options, guys. So don't get fixated on one. Just keep going, build that top level pipeline. And I promise you, as you focus and you build, you don't cut the head off. You follow this Perfect Stranger method and other things that we show you, that we teach, that are beyond just this method. This is where we have that predictability. The no's and the ghosts, like, no issue at all. Thanks for your time. Like, we already went over this, and the ghost emoji. Let's move on to the next one. So here is an exact live conversation of people that we've actually booked calls on. So they're looking for lead gen, etc. And we just literally send them into the Calendly. So you can just see, like, scroll, like, leave it on one of those slides really quick. Let me pause right here. So just people can see it. It's a little bit blurry, but you can see, like, what we're saying. Cool. Are you still looking to get X? Yeah, stop scrolling. I don't know if you're controlling it or somebody else is, but yeah. So are you still looking to get more consistent flow of appointments? These ads, we're giving away some ads. And then these ads are great, but to be honest, the solution to your bottleneck goes past a few new ads. I'd be happy to show you some of the blah, blah, blah. I can't really read it, but you get my point, is that we're now using our lead magnet to transition them to see if they'd be open to hopping on a call, because there's no one trick pony. If you're hungry, you can go to Chipotle and get a burrito. But if you want to run a business, there's not a copy and paste mechanism all on one conversation, just text-based. We want to make sure that whatever we offer, we can help them get where they want to go, because the worst advice, the most expensive advice you can take is from the wrong person. And we definitely don't want to be the deliverables of the wrong person. We need to make sure we can diagnose them really well. Once we know that we can, then and only then we can make a recommendation. Because imagine if your doctor literally said to you, Larry, you need surgery. We're going to take out a kidney tomorrow. We're going to prep you. And you'll be like, dude, just had a sprained ankle, man. That's not cool, right? It's malpractice. So in our case, it would be marketing malpractice. We need to make sure we follow the process. Once we follow the process, we get good at the process, we can delegate the process, and then we can have 10 to 20 booked appointments every single week. Okay. So, Cody, if you want to hover this.
Huh? What? Take over? Yes.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
yes.
So, sorry, guys. Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Obviously, I've shown you guys success stories. If you guys have booked any calls with us or looked at any of our stuff, we have over 100 of them sitting on a bunch of pages that you guys can go check out literally at any time. What we just did today, guys, really was go over the first couple of pieces of the puzzle. All right. Now we went a little long because we have to over deliver because I want you guys to be able to take this shit, rock it out, put it to use, and crush it. All right. So first thing I'm going to do, boom. We showed you today a couple of really good pieces to the puzzle. Offer, we should be able to really lock that shit down. Organic traffic, we should be able to rock it out. And if you want to dig into that further and you haven't got your ticket yet, hit up Ben. So tomorrow I can help you build this and this even better. We're going to really rock it out. But by bringing everything together, all the pieces to the puzzle, that's what allows people to, actually rock this out and hit their dream businesses. All right. So I want to do a little exercise with you guys today. So we're going to do a little game. All right. Scoring system. You score 2 points for every piece that you have in your business. And if you've scored over 7, you're ready to take your shit to the next level. All right. So take out a pen and paper with me. Now, number 1, if you have worked with a client before, you've done what you want to do, it's your dream job, you've got an idea of who it is, and you've actually worked with one before, you're going to put a 2 for me. All right. You're going to put a 2. Number 1, 2. All right. If you've worked with a client before, put a 2. You have revenue from either marketing services or coaching services, meaning you've actually had the client and they've paid you, or you have a student in your coaching program and they've paid you. All right. If you do that, one of those 2 things, you're going to write another little 2 underneath the first one. All right. You're going to put a second 2. Or if you haven't done it, you're going to put a 0. If you have a niche or offer idea, meaning you know who you want to work with and you have an idea of what it is you're going to offer them. All right. Who you want to work with, what you're going to offer. You're going to put a 2. That's a 2 or a 0. 4, if you're committed to building your agency or coaching program into a real business, this means it's not a side hustle. It's not a concept for you. It's something you're committed to actually doing. You're going to put a 2. And 5, you provide real value to your audience, clients, students. You come from a position of help. That's what we want. We want to help more people who are going to help more people. And if that's true, you're going to put a 2. Now, guys, I want you to add all that shit up and drop in the chat. What is your total? I already see Coach Lee put himself a 10. We got another 10 from the other people. We get 10s, 10s, 10s. Look at all the 10s. You guys are rocking it up. We got a 6. So close. So close. We got to get you up to a 7, my man. We got to fix that next part. We got Larry hitting a 10. Shantae hitting a 10. Pratesh dropping a 10. Who else is out there and with me? Dropping, looking for scores. Naheem says he's got an 8. Boom. Juan says he's got a 10. Queen says 10. Jacob says 10. Let me just put my total in here. Let me go ahead and just put 10. 10 out of 10. Right? Amit says 10. Rahul says 10. Good. What this means is if you scored 7 or over that, guys, you are close to that next level. And no matter how much of that struggle you kind of feel like you've been going through, there's a clear path to being able to hit that next level. Whatever that next level looks like to you in your own personal situation, right? What you need is the puzzles, the pieces, the square peg that fits in the square hole, and not to be shoving the round one in there and trying to figure out what the hell is wrong, right? Why am I on this roller coaster? Why doesn't this piece fit over here? It's because you're just smashing away at it. Oh, I smashed so hard I broke my camera. You're just smashing away at it. And you're creating a situation, or you're trying to use a solution that is a glove that doesn't fit on the hand. Okay. And we need to fix that. It needs to be a personalized approach. So what that personalized approach looks like is the GSD program, guys. What do? It's done with you / for you organic marketing. What that means is we actually hire and place a setter for you. We actually will go on calls with you and write content with you every single month. We do at least a couple of these calls a month, and you get one with your onboarding call so that it's a done for you system. We write, create, and launch ads with and for you, for yourself and for your clients every single Friday. We source and train setters, guys. I can't explain this enough. We also manage and train them for you. So these VAs and these setters, these very cost-effective organic marketing machines, we source and we set them for you. Who thinks they could benefit from having one of those types of employees on their team who's actually managed and trained by people like us? Drop me a 1 in the chat if that sounds like something you think your company, your program, your agency, whatever it might be, could benefit from.
Yeah, I mean, to like, as Cody goes through this, like, you can obviously see what the GSD program is about, but what we're looking for is like a fast track, a proven method, a roadmap that is already worked, but it's been proven 150 plus other times. So it's like, we can get to a goal, but we can always go there alone. I'm sure a lot of people will figure it out, or some people may never figure it out. But the reality is, we give all these assets to you, all the training, all the calls, all the love, all the accountability in a fast track. You need ads done for you. You need help fixing an ad, hop on an ads call. You need messenger strategies, get custom scripts that are already going to work, start working, and watch that company scale. So that's all we're doing here, is we're giving that fast track, that 18 years, that 12 years of Cody's experience, 18 of mine, that we're rolling up into a system and a process. Everything needs to be an assembly line. That's the overall goal, is how quickly can we get to that assembly line? Because the speed is really, really important, because we're not getting younger. The one resource that we can always get more of is going to be money. The one resource we can never get more of is going to be time. So we have to make sure, how do we maximize both? How do we invest our time, our money, our energy, and our effort into something of a higher being? Because if we're stuck somewhere, we're only going to be able to see things in our own perspective. If we now get the help of somebody who is where we want to be, then we can see things from a higher, different perspective. Then we can now implement it. Because if we want to be millionaires, we got to make the decisions millionaires make. If we want to stay where we are, we stay stuck and we stay at that decision level. And that's all it is. What do we want to get out of life? How quickly do we want to get that result? How quickly do we want to make the money and not make that an issue? How quickly do we want to hire? How quickly do we want to get out of our own way and delegate the business away? That's really the real main components of like that freedom, that skill, because that's what it's going to take to be able to get high ticket clients. We have to have that skill level to be able to authentically attract them and have the backbone and the support to be able to confidently deliver for somebody. Because one of the mechanisms we always talk about, when Blaine said he was new in Cairo, that's okay. We sell before we're ready. Because what if we build something that the customer just doesn't want? How many people think that way? They build something. There's so many builders that I meet. They make the next Zap. They go high level and build this little fucking snapshot, but yet they don't have a client to put it in. It's because they created something nobody gives a shit about. They forgot about the front end, the pipeline, the marketing, the sales. Then we move into delivery and rockstar teammates. But we can always start with great offers that need tweaking, because there's a lot of people that have an offer. They've had it for 10 years, 20 years, but they're not successful at it. It's because they haven't innovated. Because there's Blockbuster and Netflix, right? Blockbuster didn't go out of business because of Netflix. Blockbuster just failed to innovate the offer. And that's what this whole process is about. But Cody, I'll let you continue down, because like, I think like the most important things is having those skills so we can make it repeatable confidently.
The concept here, guys, is we are as done for you, both organic, paid, and team building as you can possibly get. We help you build your team. We manage and train your team, and we do create and publish all kinds of organic shit like the Perfect Stranger method you saw today. We help you implement this for you, paid traffic for you and your clients. And we implement a support system and an accountability system that I kind of want to go through in just a second, that is about as good as it can possibly be in the marketplace. We also guarantee results, but I want to show you, before I go into any guaranteed results and all that crap, just how much this is personalized, so that you can see how much support you truly get. So we have daily calls, Monday all the way through Saturday, every single day on different topics, so that you can show up, be live with us just like this, get your questions answered. In fact, we give one-on-one individual attention on all of these calls. And on Wednesdays, we can break out and do individual one-on-one calls as well. We have a 24/7 support chat where we all get to talk to one another, answer questions. We have question threads where you can get your questions answered directly by specific coaches on specific topics 24/7. And if that wasn't good enough, on top of all of this, we give you guys your own personalized accountability coach. And so her entire job is to make sure that your questions are getting answered. We track your stuff and your progress with what we call the student success tracker, how many calls a week you're booking, how many sales you're making, how many people are showing up. And we get to personalize the structure and approach to what you're learning and the support you're getting and the mentorship that you're getting specifically from me and Rahul. All right, we are there with you guys all the time in that program. We are not selling you something that we don't even do anymore. We do this shit as like a passion project. We still have the agency and a bunch of other shit. We don't need to coach, but we do because we like this shit. I like helping people. In case you couldn't tell from all the monologues I've given today about it, it's nice. It energizes me. It's the shit that I want to do. And so we don't go anywhere. We show the hell up. And that's what this is all about. Glove that fits the hand, square peg in a square hole, a personalized strategic approach that lets you absolutely crush it.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.